Good Chodesh, everyone. Chodesh Tov. We are entering the month of Iyar. Today is Rosh Chodesh Iyar, the first day of Rosh Chodesh Iyar, and this is a month of Sfiras HaOmer. From Rosh Chodesh Iyar to Rosh Chodesh Sivan and beyond, the whole month is a month of Sfiras HaOmer. I would talk just a few minutes about the idea of Sfiras HaOmer and perhaps connect Pesach and Shavuos and Kabbalah and Torah. That all kind of goes into the month of Iyar. We have a very interesting tradition that I've never really seen it brought in Sfarim, but it's a tradition I remember when I was younger and perhaps in other communities on Lag BaOmer to play with bows and arrows, where young boys go into the woods or into the fields and kind of shoot bows and arrows. And as to where this came from, someone told him when he was an elderly individual told him when he was a young boy in Yeshivat Torah V'das, that's what they did. This goes back many years already, so I guess it is an old tradition. And I was thinking, what is the idea if we look a little bit, examine the bow and arrow? The bow and arrow is a powerful weapon. Not only is it a powerful weapon used in hunting and obviously in olden times during wars and battle, but it's very precise, very precise. When one learns properly how to use a bow and arrow and how to, in archery, it's a very precise weapon. It could hit many meters away, many yards away at certain times, and a very precise, direct hit to the target or the enemy, if that's where you're shooting to. And it's a fascinating concept, as opposed to many other weapons, let's say the sword, which is much more a wild, not as precise, not as a direct hit, or even the spear. When you throw a spear, it's not going to be as precise as the arrow. Perhaps I had a thought, which we can connect this to Sfiras HaOmer, is, and why we take bows and arrows on Sfiras HaOmer, is how would you make the arrow precise? How would it come out on the target, on the direct hit? It has to do with how much you pull it back. The more precisely you are when you pull back the bow and bring it closer towards you and actually pull the bow back in a careful and skillful manner, that's going to affect exactly where the arrow will land and what type of target you will hit in the arrow. So too, we can perhaps say in regard to Torah, we know Sfiras HaOmer is all about Kabbalah Torah, getting ready for Shavuos, in between the Chag HaGeula and the Chag Matan Torah. But how precise will our Torah be? How direct will it be? How full and how strong will our Torah be? Will our Torah learning, our Torah action, will it just be a very general learning, a very general religious feeling that we have? Or will it be direct? Will it be precise? Will it be exact, on the mark, the way it should be, in regard to midos, in regard to tefillah, in regard to avoda, in regard to Torah? That all has to do how much we pull the Torah in. The more we pull the Torah in to our hearts, to our minds, to our feelings, and most of all to our actions, that's how precise, that's bidyuk where the arrow is going to go. Perhaps we could take this a step further. We know that Talmidim Rabbi Akiva were great Talmidei Chachamim, the Gemara says, but they failed. They weren't able to hold up. Their Torah wasn't precise enough. It was great. It was Talmud Torah. It was Talmidei Chachamim. Perhaps great people, greater than us, perhaps in Torah learning, but it wasn't precise enough. It wasn't on the mark. It didn't hit the target. Shelo nagu kavod zelazeh, says the Gemara, and therefore they were all wiped out. Perhaps they didn't bring it in enough. The Torah was very general. It was all out there. It was kind of like a sword just waving around. But was it in their hearts? Was it in their minds? Was it in their maisav? Was it the arrow? Was it the bow which has to pull all the way back into ourselves, into our very hearts and minds? Only then will the arrow shoot and will the arrow hit his mark. This perhaps is a large part of the avoda of Sfiras HaOmer and of Chodesh Iyar, which is the Chodesh which brings us from Chodesh Nisan to Chodesh Sivan, from the Geula to the Kabbalah Torah, and we should all have a wonderful Rosh Chodesh and hopefully a month filled with spiritual and Torah learning, and Avodas Hashem.